They will never forget you. They will never forget you. Let me tell you a thing. You're not alone. Why? Because there are people who walk into your life like whispers. Soft, brief, forgotten before the echo fades. But then there are people like you, yes, like yourself, who don't just enter a room and shift the air. You don't just love, you leave an imprint. And when you're gone, nothing feels right again. You see, most people, they live on the surface. They touch without depth, speak without meaning, love with conditions, the ultimate condition. But you love without a shield. You gave without keeping score. You showed up even when they stopped looking for you. And they thought you were ordinary, like a phase, a moment, someone they could replace. But dear, there is nothing ordinary about the way you love. You gave them something they didn't know how to hold, something too pure for their hands. You gave them you, and they mistook that for nothing, and nothing that said it was everything. They thought they could walk away and forget the warmth in your words, the steadiness in your loyalty, the way you could sense their pain without a single word spoken. They thought time would erase you, but you don't disappear. You stay, not out of bitterness, not to haunt them, but because energy like yours doesn't just vanish. It lives in the cracks, in the silence, in the hollowness they try to ignore. They'll go searching, for the pieces of you they tossed aside. They'll chase your shadow in conversations that don't hit the same, in smiles that feel borrowed, in touches that leave them colder than before. And they'll wonder, why does no one see them like you did? Why does no one stay the way you stayed? The way you stayed. Because what you gave was real. You loved like a fire that kept them warm without ever burning them. And they stood too close to the flame and ran when it got too bright. They didn't know how rare you were, how few people love like that. With eyes wide open, with hands ready to hold, with a heart that didn't flinch at their flaws. But now, in the aftermath, they'll feel the chill. They'll sit with silence and remember the sound of your voice when the world got too loud. They'll remember the way you showed up, uninvited but always on time. Unasked, but always exactly what they needed. They'll remember the details, the messages you sent when no one else checked in, the way you noticed the pain they hid from the world, the comfort of your presence when everything else was falling apart. And now they are in pain, not because you're gone, but because they let you go. They'll try to convince themselves you were easy to forget, that you were replaceable, a name they'll barely recall, but the truth is you will be the standard, the one they compare everyone else to, and no one will measure up because no one else will have your soul, your fire, your willingness to give without expecting anything back. They'll meet people who look good on paper, say the right things, play the perfect part, but none of them will feel like you, because you were home. Not just a lover, not just a friend, but a safe place in human form. And they lost that forever. But listen to me. You are not their regret to carry. You are not their apology left unsaid. You are not the pain they tossed aside and picked back up too late. You are the lesson they'll never unlearn, the blessing they misread, The chapter they'll reread in silence, wondering why they let the pages burn. And while they wrestle with memory, you'll rise, brighter, bolder, untouchable, because you never needed them to validate your worth. You were always enough, even when they couldn't see it. So let them remember, let them feel, let them realize far too late that they lost something they'll never find again. You weren't just a moment. You were the spark that made everything feel alive. And no matter how far they run, how deep they bury your name, they will never forget you. They will never forget you.